If you guys haven't seen the last video where I went to Best Buy and tried to get a gaming mouse but find out that most of the gaming tech nowadays in stores is quite expensive. So today I thought, well, why not let's refresh my gaming setup and tell you guys how much exactly I paid for it and to see whether or not a basic setup is what you need and can you afford it. By no means am I also saying that this is like a brag to say like how much this is costing and that if you can't afford it then like haha, it's not at all. I just want to show you the reality of how much tech evolves and how expensive it really is. So a couple things. My setup actually is realistically from the beginning. I mean, the things that remain from like Indiana is the mouse pad and the HP 25X monitor, but that's not even used for actual gaming. It's actually just used for a secondary monitor. For those of you who have 3, 4, 5, 6 monitors, there's absolutely 0 point. It may look cool, but in reality, it's just really stupid. Especially if you plan on moving or you end up finding out you're moving. Let me tell you, it's better to have the most minimalistic setup possible rather than having something super grand and big. It's not worth it. I'm telling you. Just get a minimalistic one. To start off, like I was saying, the mouse pad. I could use a refresher. It is disgusting. Cleaned it multiple times, but as you can see, the black is now fading to a light gray to it's gross. When I got this brand new, I think it was about $40 to $50. Granted, they're still about that price, so there might be a new one coming soon. Now, for those of you who do know, this keyboard is actually about $30 to $40. So now you're roughly about $80. Let's just continue with the stuff that's actually on the mouse pad right now because it's going to be an easier kind of setup in terms of calculations. That mouse is brand new. That I got off a reseller. Retail price, if you were to get that off of like StockX or something, it's a Final Mouse Starlight, the Last Legend. Retails for about $260. I got it for $160, so that's $240 now. These headphones, outstandingly amazing for the price. Brand new, they're about $90. I've had these and just replaced the earmuffs. So in total, now we're around $330. Now let's move on to the rest of the desk here because the mouse pad obviously, you know, I guess if you realistically want to add another 50, but we're not going to because there's not a new one yet. So this is the Rode boom arm. It holds my Shure SM7B on, which we'll get to in a second. But this thing, super sleek, super light. This cost me $100 just for the boom arm. Was it worth it? Absolutely. And is it super dusty? Should be cleaned? Oh yeah, holy crap, that's a lot of dust. Obviously, most of this stuff is based on your liking, and I also want you guys to understand that most of the things that I have were pretty much copy and paste from streamers that I used to watch back in the day, so give or take. Like, I know there's budgeting, but there's also quality involved here too, so. Now this is a Shure SM7B dynamic microphone. I absolutely love this thing. It has been my favorite mic. I've had wireless headsets, I've had a Blue Yeti, which by the way, no hate to them. The Yeti was really nice, I just didn't like how freaking heavy and large that mic was. And what I have noticed is that when I did voiceovers, this thing has been outstanding. But something you do need to understand is that the Blue Yeti was actually a USB microphone. Nothing bad about it, it's just this is an XLR. So when you have an XLR cable, now you have stronger frequency that's able to be reached and the full potential of a microphone. So this is where it gets a little expensive because this was $400 retail and I think it's still about that, but I got it for, I think, well actually technically I traded my boosted board for it, so it was technically free, but technically $200. Let's just call it free. So unfortunate to say, but now we're at like $430. So then we have all the audio stuff here. This was about $100 and this was about $170. So these things I highly recommend. You don't have to have this cloud lifter, but it is highly recommended so you're not outputting the gain super high. But this is a Focusrite, I call it like a power supply. I don't know the exact term for it, but it is to actually turn on the XLR and be able to have it running. So we're at $430, but with the $100 cloud lifter, that's now at $530, and with the $170 little mic power supply thing, well, now you're at $700. So just within the mouse, the keyboard, the pad, the boom arm, the mic since it was free, the cloud lifter, just the audio section and the mouse and keyboard, we are almost at $1,000. That's expensive. That's literally a brand new Xbox 360 that comes with everything. Moving on. Ignore these two things. I just have them there. Ignore this as well. This is the HP 25X. I believe brand new this thing was about $150, so now we're at $850. And again, I am just rounding most of these things up. That way it's easier for me to calculate, and I'm not giving you an exact number. But this thing is pushing probably about 7 years old, and it still works perfectly well. Again, do I take care of it? Not really. It's a lot of dust again. So $850. But we're not even close to being finished yet. Now we have the brand new monitor. This is a Samsung, actually, what is it? Samsung Odyssey. It's a 27-inch monitor. It's got NVIDIA G-Sync to it, which realistically nobody uses because it sucks. This monitor was $200. So now we're at to $1,050. And we haven't even gotten to the main component that turns everything on here. This thing, obviously, I just use for light. This is an Elgato ring light I got for $100. So now we're at $1,150. And it's probably the worst light I've ever had. It's bright, but I hate that you can't change the modes on it. And I also hate that it struggles to turn on. I will gladly say this, if you have anything that's Bluetooth on a setup, it is so stupid. It realistically never turns on. Just get something that's wired, you plug in and you flip a switch. It's 10 times better. Anyways, now for the grand old daddy that is indeed somehow a little dirty as well. This is my custom built gaming PC that cost me a whopping $3,200. And I'm making myself feel a little bit better because I think it cost me a little bit more than that, but I'm just gonna say $3,200. So we have $1,150 plus $3,200. What is that? $4,550? Is that right? So roughly $5,000 to play games for no more than 2 hours a day, or even if I'm having a break of like a week, watching YouTube videos, watching a stream, and editing my YouTube videos. You know, the more I say these things out loud, I did the same thing with my card and my other channel. The more times I say this out loud to say like, holy crap, the amount of money I have wasted on something that I barely use is astronomical. Because keep in mind, I also have not sold my old gaming PC. So that's like $1,000 down the drain as well. So, oh boy, bro, this is, to play games for a couple hours, mostly edit for maybe no more than 5 hours because this thing is incredibly fast and reliable. Is it worth it in the end? No. This is what I mean realistically to have a minimal setup, because a majority of the people that you see online that have a crazy setup that costs tens of thousands of dollars is just astronomically stupid. Unless they are streamers and they are doing this for a living. That is a whole different story, because at that rate, most of that stuff is probably sponsored, so they didn't pay for it. But if you're paying this all out of pocket, let's just say this. If you are not pro in anything, or making YouTube videos for a living, or doing streaming for a living, there is no sense in you wasting this much money. Okay? I'm just being honest with you. I love this. I love my setup. But again, realistically, it's just not worth it. Now, I didn't even mention the desk. The desk was actually free because I got it from Humane Society. So, that's another thing, is to go thrifting and see if you can find a desk or a mouse pad. Well, probably not a mouse pad. A desk or like something that someone just wanted to donate, because that saves you a lot of money there. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, because I am just disappointed in myself that it's cost this much money. You know, I'm a car guy. I'll put this in retrospect for any car guys that are watching this as well, or car people. $3,000, almost $4,000 can get you an upgraded turbo, and you could push a car faster than ever imaginable. This is like a huge paperweight. Everything here is like a huge paperweight to me. I didn't just do this for the views. I actually like PCs, and I think they're really cool. But again, would I ever do it again? Probably not, because I'm actually falling out of love with gaming. I just have this stuff because, one, it looks nice, and two, can I afford it? Yes. And three, is it good for editing? Abso-freaking-lutely. Wouldn't change it for the world. So if any companies out there watching this video and you'd like me to review some of your products, maybe help the setup become a little bit better and cooler, hit me up in the comments down below or hit me up in the email, whichever. I will see you guys soon. Subscribe and don't make stupid financial decisions like myself.